What's up everybody, Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault, and today we're going to talk about how to break your negative thinking, a whole new you. Let's get started. And make sure you watch the full video because I'm going to go over a lot of parts and they're all tied together like pieces in a puzzle. So make sure to get the best benefit out of this video, watch the whole video and you'll see how it all falls in together. And make sure that you take action, because remember Newton's law that a body at rest stays at rest and a body in motion stays in motion unless a force is acted upon it. And basically what that means is that if you are stagnant in your life or you're moving in the wrong direction in your life, the only way to change that is to take action. Know that you probably won't be able to get rid of every single solitary piece of negative thought in your mind. We all have negative thoughts. Everybody does. Even the most positive people in the world are going to have negative thoughts at times. That's just normal. So don't worry about that. But what you want to do is try to minimize the amount of negativity, the negative thoughts that go through your mind, and try to have more positive thoughts in your mind as you go through life. And so that's what we're going to concentrate on today, and some tips on how to get there. So the first one is to wake up. The first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is to wake up with gratitude. And I have a video out there about a 5-minute yoga routine that I do with gratitude. So what I do is I just take a 5-minute routine where I stretch my body out. A yoga routine, you can go to the video and check it out. And then what I do is the last part of that is my gratitude. And what I do is I just take a few moments out to just be grateful for the life that I have and all the great things that are going on. And if we all have great things that are going on in our life, we all have things that are not so great, but if we concentrate in the morning when we wake up to be grateful for the great things that we do have, then you start the morning off right. You're starting the whole day off right, on the right momentum. You're getting the right momentum to get to the right place where you want to be, as opposed to coming up and just looking at negative things and maybe, doing things that are just going to make you feel negative. You want to stay away from that, because that's just going to set the whole day off in a very negative way. So start off the day when you first wake up with some gratitude, and you will have a better chance of having a better day than if you didn't do that. The next tip is don't watch the news. And I still struggle with this because I watch a little bit of it, but I have greatly reduced down the amount of news that I watch, because if you watch the news, you'll realize it is all negative. And the reason why it's all negative is because these networks they need to get ratings. They need to get the ratings up. And there's just this, for some reason, a lot of people, they dwell on the negativity of everything. So the news is just giving them what they want. And so what you want to do is, you don't want to be like that. Doesn't mean that you have to be like that. You don't have to be that negative person that craves negative news all the time. So one of the ways to do it without that is you just don't watch the news. And that way you won't fill yourself with all this negativity in the first place. And it's probably better to listen to some uplifting, inspirational podcast instead of watching the news while you're getting your breakfast ready and getting ready to go to work or whatever it is that you do. And you're going to start the day off again much better off, because you're not going to fill your head with all this negative stuff. And again, like I said, I struggle with it because I do watch the news a little bit, but I do try to minimize it as much as possible. And if there's anything really, really important that's going to happen that you really need to know about, believe me, you'll hear about it somewhere, because someone's going to tell you about it. You don't have to watch the news to really, really keep up with what's going on in the world. The next tip is to stay away from negative people and surround yourself with positive people. The problem with negative people is all they try to do is to bring you down to their level of negativity, because they're not happy. They're living in an unhappy place, and they're just going to drag you down because, frankly, they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be alone in that negative dwelling in that negative place that they're in, and they want to make sure that they have company there, and that's why they're trying to bring you down to that level. They don't want to see you succeed and do well in life, because they're not doing that, and they don't want you to move away from them. So basically, you've got to eliminate the negative people in your life, surround yourself with positive people, and this might be tough because you might have to actually get rid of friends, and you might have to minimize your time with your family in order to do this. But it's so important to do, because it's just not worth. You only live once. It's just not worth going through life with all this negativity in your life that's just bringing you down and making you more negative. And you do become the person of who you surround yourself with. And they say, you become like you become like one of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, an average of them. So if all the people you surround yourself are positive, you're going to be positive. If all the people you surround yourself are negative, you're going to be negative. If it's a mix, then you're going to have negative thoughts and you're going to have some positive thoughts. And what you want to do is get as much positivity in your life as possible. So surround yourself with positive people and stop hanging around with those negative people. You've got to get out of that situation. The next tip, I have to admit, I have a little problem with, because I've been doing it for a long time, but I try my very best to minimize it as much as possible. I do it a lot less now than I used to, but that is, don't judge others. And it's just so easy to fall into that. But the reality is that no one is perfect, number one. And, like, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. I hate to break that to you, but you're not perfect either. And no one is. And so to judge other people when we're not perfect ourselves is something that we shouldn't be doing anyway. And the other thing is that we all tend to think that a person is doing well. We'll judge them based on our own values, but we don't all have the same values. We have different religions, we have different beliefs, we have different ideas on how the world should be run. And to think that everyone should think exactly like us is just completely unreal and is not going to happen. And if you continue to judge people based on how you think they should be living based on how you live, then that's just going to keep bringing negativity into your life, and you need to get that out of your life. Even though I know it's difficult, but that's what we all have to do. And if we all did that, to tell you the truth, wouldn't it be a much more positive world if we did that? Because there's so much hate in the world and so much people hating on each other that it's just not really the way that we should be living our life. So don't judge others, and you'll be happier. The next tip is to set goals and then go after them. And I'm telling you, there's nothing better to get rid of negative thoughts than to actually have a goal that you want to go after and that gives you purpose in life. And it really is tremendous. If you ever do it, if you do it now, most people do have goals and they go after them. But if you do that, you'll find that you're not dwelling on the negative stuff around you, because you're really concentrating on achieving those goals and going after them and doing what you have to do to get to those goals. And that's just so much more better than obviously concentrating on the negativity of other things. So those are the main tips. I have a couple of other things that I think that really help out that might sound a little corny, but I think they do work. And that is, stand up tall with good posture, with your head up, instead of like walking around like this, you're, oh God, You notice that people who are negative tend to be walking around like this and everything is a downer, but the people who are positive they have confidence in themselves. And standing up with good posture is going to help you get good confidence in yourself. So stand up tall, have your head up high. That's really going to help. And the next thing is, and this is going to sound funny, is every morning you can always get into what they call the superhero pose, which is like this, and just go, whoop, or something like that. Or say, I'm awesome, or I got this, or something like that. And if you could do that every morning, you're starting off the day with, hey, you know what? I'm going to have a good day today. I'm going to have an awesome day today, and I'm going to get out there and win the day, or seize the day, as some people say. The next one is to be flexible and far-sighted. And what do I mean by far-sighted? I mean by focusing on long-term goals as opposed to worrying about all the short-term junk that comes up. Like, so let's say if you want to lose weight, don't concentrate the fact, oh my God, I gained a pound today, or whatever it was, or I didn't lose a pound today, and weigh yourself every day. Don't worry about that. Think about, where am I going to be a year from now? And if I can lose a pound a week for 52 weeks in 1 year, that's going to be 52 pounds. And that's a great goal to go after if you need to lose that weight. And it gets you to think more about the long term, as opposed to saying, oh my God, every day I'm going to weigh myself and look at it and say, oh my gosh, this is terrible. No, you have a whole year to get there, and just work your way towards it. And as long as you're honest with yourself and really working towards it, then you will get there. And just know, that great things take time. And short-term fixes are just short-term fixes. They're not really anything to work for. If it was easy, it's not really all that great to go after, right? So if you're going to go after something, then go after something great, and that's going to take you time, and it's also going to give you purpose in life to go after that. The next one is, if something happens to you, don't look at it as a negative thing. So for an example is, I got laid off of my job. Oh my gosh, I'm stupid. I'm not going to amount to anything. This is terrible. If you look at it though as, wow, okay, I got laid off, but this finally is the kick in the butt I needed to go after that dream that I had, to start that new business, or to go after that other job that I was too afraid to apply for, because I'm in this very easy job right now. This is a very comfortable job, and being in this job has allowed me to be in this comfort zone, even though I hated the job. But now that I'm laid off from it, I can now go after the job of my dreams and what I want. And so if you look at it that way, that when something happens to you, then you use that as a reason to move forward and do something else, and something that you love to do, then it's actually a positive. It actually does help you get out and do what you need to do. The next one is to realize that failure isn't a bad thing. We all get so worried about, oh my God, I failed, or I failed this. I did bad on this test, or I messed up this thing in my job. And the thing is that we all fail. Everyone fails at something. But if you use it as a learning tool and realize that, and you look at failure as a learning tool as opposed to something that makes you look bad, because no one cares. No one's going to say, oh wow, so-and-so failed, they're terrible, boy, they're a bad person. They're not going to do that. They're not. And so what you need to do is to take failure as a learning tool and to do better. Now, what you don't want to do is keep doing the same thing. Like if you touch a live wire and you get shocked, you don't want to touch it again. You want to say, okay, I'm not going to touch that live wire again. Then I'm going to go touch something else or do something else, but I'm going to do whatever in order to not get shocked again. And if you can do that and learn from it, then you've actually learned an awful lot. And I think that is a great thing. And just realize that you can't go back in time too, because I hear so many people that say they would love to take the wisdom that they have right now, go back in time, talk to themselves, and say, their young selves, and say, look, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, because you're going to get hurt, this is going to happen, or whatever. And the reality is if you ever did that, and you went back in time, your younger self wouldn't listen to you anyway, because they're going to do what they're going to do anyway, because the best teacher in the world is failure. And so you learn better by actually experiencing it yourself and failing, as opposed to just listening to someone who tells you not to do something and not to do something. And so just look at failure as it is not a bad thing, and you won't have the negative thoughts towards it, and you'll look at it as just a learning tool. And realize that obstacles are always going to get in the way. So it's so easy to say, okay, I got this goal and I'm going to go from here to here, and nothing is going to get in my way going from here to here. Nothing is going to get in my way, and I'm just going to easily go up that way. But I can tell you right now, life is like this. Life is up, down, because you get these obstacles. And as long as you're kind of moving in the right direction, you're going to have ups and downs, and it's okay. Just know that those obstacles are going to be there. And if you look at it in a less negative way, if you say, if an obstacle comes my way, I'm going to work and do whatever I have to get through that obstacle, as opposed to thinking, oh my God, that obstacle is going to derail me and this is horrible. So you have to look at it that way, and you'll be more positive. And some people even almost look forward to saying, okay, now I can figure out what I need to do in order to get past this obstacle. So look at it that way, and you'll get rid of those negative thoughts on any time an obstacle comes in your way while impeding your goal. And the last thing I like to say is just realize that you deserve to be happy and positive, just like anybody else does. And you want to move that way because the YOLO thing, where you only live once, and you're only down here once. It's not a dress rehearsal. You're not going to come back down here. You got one chance, one shot at it. You might as well be as happy as you can. So work towards this happiness, and you can get there. And I know you can do it. I have faith in you. The question is, do you have faith in yourself to to be able to get rid of the negative thoughts in your mind and to get what you want to get out of life. And I think you do, and if you do believe it, then I know 100% you will get there. And that's all I had for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. It really does warm my heart when you watch. It really does. I just love doing these videos. And if you have any comments that you'd like to add to that, maybe something I left out on how to help people think more positive and get rid of the negativity, or if you have any other questions or anything, or if you have any other video ideas you'd like me to do, make sure you put them in the comments below and I will meet you there shortly. Just make sure that the comments are uplifting and helpful, or if they're questions, that's fine. But what I don't like to see is anyone trashing anybody, because this whole channel is about helping people be the best versions of themselves. So just think about that when you put a comment in. And if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and that way YouTube knows to push it out to others who can benefit from it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell notification, and that way you'll be notified every time I put out a healthy living video. And if you know anybody who can use healthy living videos like this one, make sure you share the video and the channel with them so they can join in on all the fun. And for more tips on how to live a happier, healthier life, 2 videos are going to pop up any moment, and you can click on any of those videos and you can continue your happy, healthy living journey. And I'll see you all next time.